السلام عليكم رمضان كريم كل عام وانتم طيبين. As I promised, I'm gonna do an English version about the chocolate. So without any further delay, I will explain the difference between compound chocolate and couverture chocolate. So technically this is called compound, which means that it is already manufactured. This one is also manufactured, but this one is natural and this one is not natural. The very basic difference between both types of chocolate is the fat solid. So this one, as a compound chocolate, uses hydrogenated oil, and this one uses cocoa butter. That's the difference between both types of chocolate, whether it was milk chocolate or dark chocolate or white chocolate. So we need to understand the difference. In short words, this is not healthy, this one is healthy. This is fake chocolate, or we can say chocolate substitute. This one is real chocolate. This one is the real deal, actually. Now, why this is not healthy and this one is healthy for your body? It's very simple. This has hydrogenated fat, which will start melting at 40 to 45 degrees. It will start melting at 40 degrees. So let us think about this as 40 degrees. Human body temperature is 37, which means that when you eat this, the fat will stuck into your body. You cannot get rid of it unless, of course, you did a lot of sports. So technically this one is not good for the body. And this one, however, has cocoa butter inside, which will start melting at 36 degrees, less than the human body temperature, which means that no matter how much fat it contains, it will not remain in your body. And besides, this is like natural. This is the compound. It has been manufactured in order to substitute this type of chocolate. Now, why? Because some actually prefers to use this one, because this one doesn't need tempering, while this one needs tempering. In Saudi market, this one is a compound. It is called hot application. As for the couverture, it is called cold application. They call it, this one is cold, this one is hot or warm, because this one you can melt immediately and you start using it immediately. While this one, you have to do something called tempering. We are going to talk about tempering and how we do it and why we do it later on in a different video. So technically, as soon as you melt this, you will start using it, while this one needs to be heated to a certain degree of temperature, and then we cool it down and then we reheat again. So when I say the difference between components, now we said that this has hydrogenated fat and this one has cocoa butter. This one has probably cocoa powder solids or some type of milk, while this one has the original thing from the chocolate, which is cocoa powder and cocoa butter. Now we are not going to talk about this anymore because this one is done. Let us explain the samples on the bag. So I have here, it says Accra 62%. Let me show it to you. This is Accra 62%. You need to read this number because this is actually means the amount of cocoa mass used to produce this type of chocolate. What is the meaning of cocoa mass? It is very simply, we can see here the cocoa nibs. We remove the skin, and this is actually the real chocolate before adding any sugar or any milk to it. So this is the chocolate. This is the chocolate beans after roasting, and we get rid of the skin. This is called cocoa mass. After we grind it, it becomes like a liquid. It is called chocolate liquor. But this one actually, when it changes into a solid form, it's going to be like a cocoa mass. So technically, you don't need to know much of these informations yet, because we will get to this later on. So all you need to know is that 62% is the cocoa mass percentage in this type of chocolate. There's another type here. This is another Accra, but this one has 38%, which means that this is actually milk chocolate. So we have, in this chocolate, we have 38%. So think of this as a kilo. So 380 grams of this one is actually cocoa nibs, real chocolate, and the remaining is sugar and milk powder and whatever. Okay, so this one has 62% of this one. This one is Maracaibo. It has 65%. 65%. Now there is some types of chocolate that has actually two numbers. We don't have this, but just in case if you encountered one, this is 65%, and then it says there's a dash, and then it says 72H. If you see that sample, this means that it's referring to the time of the conch. And we will talk about the conch later. One more thing we need to know is actually the meaning of these samples. This is like a cylinder, a working cylinder with two dots, two drops. I hope this is clear enough. Two drops for a chocolate. This refers to the liquidity of the chocolate. In the market, we have 5 different types of drops. I can say this is a drop, this is 2 drops, this is 3 drops. So one type you actually already know, which has only 1 drop. It is a little bit thick and dense chocolate. It doesn't melt very quickly, which fits fine for making cookies. 2 drops is fine for molded praline and fillings and also a ganache. 3 drops is a little bit liquid, more liquid than 2 drops, which also fits fine for molded praline and ganache. 4 drops we don't have in our company, alhamdulillah. And this type of chocolate is used for dipping. It fits, of course, to make some molded praline, but it has a different procedure than these. When you use this to make molded chocolate, molded praline, you go straight forward in making your chocolate. But if you have 4 drops, there's a totally different way. It's the same, but it's more like a double work, or sometimes it is triple work. Now, if you see 5 drops, this is actually for enrobe machines in a factory, which might produce a biscuit or tamar, dates, and he wants to enrobe it with chocolate, with a fine and thin layer of chocolate, in order to preserve the flavor of the main ingredient, which is dates or biscuit, with the addition of the chocolate. So the chocolate is not the main flavor, it's like a coating. So as I said, 1 drop is for cookies. It actually goes into the oven. This is for baking. 2 drops, 3 drops, like this one, for molded praline, ganache, fillings, you name it. 3 drops is the same. This one actually was made, I like to use this one for hollow mold, like a big size mold, like a rabbit, for example, or a dog. I use this one. But it doesn't matter. We will get to all these details later on, inshallah, in the different videos. So as I said, 3 drops also for molded praline, ganache and fillings. 4 drops is for dipping, but it works also for fillings and molded praline with a different procedure. 5 drops is not available in the market. Just in case if you saw it, this is actually for the factories. Now, one more thing, which is the final thing I'm going to talk about today, inshallah. I know this is boring for you, but you need to know this. Now, the difference between good quality chocolate and top quality chocolate. So this is good quality chocolate, and this is top quality chocolate. It says here couverture. Let me show it to you. Couverture. And it says here Grand Cru. This is couverture Grand Cru. You can see it. Now what's the difference? The difference is not in the percentage. This is 62, this is 65. You can go up to 65 with this one, but it is still couverture. It's raising up the percentage won't make this type of chocolate Grand Cru. Grand Cru is a term to define the best quality ingredients when it comes to food started with wine and it spread almost to everything else. So Grand Cru is a very, very special type of fruit from a very special area with a very special type of process. That's what makes top quality chocolate, earns the Grand Cru stamp. And you have to prove it. Nobody can write Grand Cru on a product without, you have to prove that this is actually Grand Cru. So this is a high quality chocolate, it's a good quality chocolate, and this is top quality chocolate. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask about anything. After all, I am at your service. رمضان كريم، كل عام وانتم بخير. السلام عليكم.